Bumming with Bob, let's have a few brews, we'll have some fun with the bum wine crew. So kick your feet up and grab you a beer, 'cause damn man, I'm glad that you're here.
All right. This is Bumwine Bob welcoming you to an all-new edition of Bumming with Bobcat. And this week, joining the show, we have one of the hosts of the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. It is Cameron Hayes. How you doing, Cameron?
Good, man. Glad to be here tonight.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Glad to have you here with us tonight from the Sunshine State and all the stories that go along with it. Never a dull moment over there. But I guess recently things have been fairly quiet. I haven't heard anything too crazy going on in Florida.
We've tried to keep to ourselves recently, but there's always crazy. There's always fun. It's always fun.
Oh well, yeah. I was gonna say, I'm sure you pick up any newspaper or on some Florida website, you'll find something going on there. Some Florida man doing something crazy, but nothing on the national level though. Because I'm like, Florida's been fairly quiet. Are they okay down there? I know you guys had, that bitter cold 40-degree weather a few weeks ago. I'm glad you survived.
Dude, today's been 53 degrees and it's and a little rainy, so I don't know. We're kind of bundled up, and I will say a couple weeks ago when it was in the 30s and I think it was 31 here. I had to I was actually at a wedding for 6 hours outside. The reception was in a barn, but it was in a barn. You know what I mean? It was
I was at a wedding December, and it was in North Carolina, so it was south of Jersey where I am.
Right.
And luckily it was 60-degree weather for December, and it was this is amazing, because if it was 30 in a barn with a couple space heaters, it'd be pretty chilly.
That was the thing. There was not even a space heater. So I wasn't a guest. I was DJing this wedding. And so I was just the guy that was standing there. Everybody's having a good time, but I was freezing. There's no space heaters. It was literally 31 degrees inside the venue. And I'm just standing there rocking back and forth. We don't even, I don't even think they sell legit jackets down here in Florida. So they're shadow banned on Amazon in our parts. We can't even get them. So yeah, it was a pretty chilly one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and since you're just standing there DJ, it's not like you were a guest at the wedding. You could be out there dancing, moving around, or maybe having a few extra drinks to warm yourself up. But
it was chilly, but we're all good. We're good. We're living our life down here, and we're trying to stay out of the national spotlight right now. I think that's Florida's goal.
Yeah, we'll see. But by the time this podcast drops, maybe that will have changed, and we'll have to take back everything we just said.
Delete it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna crack open a beverage here to get us started. Now, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, that depends. What's the vibe here with the kind of drinks that you like to do on the show?
Now, most of the time,
I've heard a little bit. I've heard some rumors, and I know that it's it gets a little crazy. So I'm just kind of curious. What's the norm?
Well, usually it's bottom shelf. Anything cheap, high alcohol.
Okay.
Anything that'll get you a good buzz going. Now, from time to time, people bring on some fancy stuff. They'll bring on their Tito's and tonic, or some Cabernet. Okay. Now, me personally, I stopped this afternoon and I picked up a nice big, the 32-ounce can of Miller High Life.
Okay, so, nice.
We were drinking the champagne of beers here tonight, and it's the big, thick 32-ounce oil can. I was like, it's $1.69. I'm like,
perfect.
I haven't had the High Life in maybe a month or so. I'm like, let's go for it.
So it doesn't have to be bad. It just has to. It's mostly cheap bottom shelf.
Correct. Now, usually cheap bottom shelf coincides with being bad, but every once in a while, you do find that unicorn every once in a while, and you do find something that's actually enjoyable for the price.
Well, I feel like beer is pretty safe. Cheap beer is good beer sometimes. Even Pabst.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Pabst, and it's super cheap, but it's good. But I mean, once you get into cheap liquor, then you start getting into that's a different territory.
That can get dicey really quick because cheap,
it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, cheap liquor can go the wrong way.
Well, so what I'll tell you what I'm drinking, because I'm a whiskey guy. I drink a lot of bourbon, and I have a lot of bourbon. But I did have something that somebody gave me that's just kind of interesting. I would think it's probably pretty cheap. Bottom shelf this is probably below the bottom shelf because nobody's picking this stuff up. This is called Wicked Pickle. It's a pickle whiskey.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I'm pretty nervous about it, and I wish I just had like a Miller High Life. But this is what I found in my cabinet.
So I was gonna say, you haven't tried it yet. This is the first time of cracking it open to give it a shot. So we get the first.
Yeah. Be interesting. So it says Wicked Pickle, spicy pickle flavored whiskey. It is 70 proof, so 35% alcohol.
Okay. I could have sworn I heard I don't know if it was that one or some sort of a pickle whiskey, maybe a few years back. I think it was kind of maybe not a hot item, but
okay.
Maybe it was kind of had a little bit of a push behind it. I mean, I might just be making that up. I don't know.
I've heard of like pickle juice as a chaser.
Correct.
Like I've heard of that. Like people drinking whiskey, probably cheap whiskey, and then shooting it with pickle juice. But I think the spicy pickle part is what's like making me really nervous. Oh my gosh, dude, this straight up. Okay, well, it's definitely pickle.
Okay, I was gonna say it was the Wicked Pickle. That was the one you said?
Wicked Pickle.
Wicked Pickle, spicy pickled flavored whiskey. I was just
smell of it. I just cracked it and just like, dude, it's intense. I don't even smell. I smell no alcohol. I smell like, like the peppers, like the pickled peppers. That's
I was gonna say I'm looking here now. As soon as I had to go and I had to search it and bring up the website and see exactly. It said it's their take on a classic pickleback shot mixed to perfection, all in one bottle. So they're.
Oh, dude, it's a very strong smell. I haven't tried it yet, but it is a very, very strong smell. Have you done a what do you call it? Pickleback?
Yeah, it's a pickleback shot, and I could have sworn I probably had one at one point. I mean, not recently, and not something that was ever really a go-to shot going out to bars. Right. But I mean, I definitely know what a pickleback, a shot of bourbon or Jameson Irish whiskey followed by a shot of pickle brine. So it's pretty much like you said. It's just the chaser of the shot of bourbon or whiskey. So
I can't remember either. Like I feel like I've had it, but it wasn't memorable. As in, like I probably didn't do two.
Yeah, but you see, I've never been a big pickle
anything
juice. I was never a big pickle person. Recently, over the past few years, I've gotten into like spicy pickles, like homemade pickles, like a big pickle. I don't like pickles on. Yeah. I'm not a pickle person on like sliced pickles on a burger or anything, but I'll sometimes eat just a regular standard size pickle. Gotcha. But as I said, you can mix it with your Bloody Mary, Wicked Mary, one stiff pickle, a pickle in a pint. Ooh, a Wicked Wing, Nashville Hot, pickle and ginger, pickled soda. They're giving you all the options here of what to do. Because I'm gonna see if.
Man, I mean, it just straight smells like pickle juice. But I mean, I put it.
I might have to try it. I went on their site and I searched, and it's at a liquor store that's 2 miles away from me.
There you
so
go.
I might have to. Pick it up and give it a shot after you suffer through it.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to see if I make it through. You might have to make that 2 mile trek.
Right.
I guess
right.
I'll give it a shot here. I mean, I'm not gonna literally take it as a shot.
Yeah, just.
Funny, I have it in a really nice rocks glass.
Well, you didn't know what to expect at the time.
Oh, that's okay. That's really, it's interesting.
Okay.
I mean, you could
bad, good,
not good. It's not good, but it's not as bad as it smells. Honestly, it's not even as strong pickly as what the smell is. Like you get it, like it's like pickle in the back of your throat, though. It's weird. Like you taste the whiskey up front, and then you get pickle in the back.
Right. So it's the aftertaste that they really get you with it, and I guess in that case that makes sense if they're trying to do that pickleback shot all in one. That you'll taste the whiskey as you drink it, and then the aftertaste will be the pickle.
Right. I honestly feel like, dude, I honestly can't imagine people just like seeking this out, though. I mean, maybe, but like,
not something to drink on its own. Now, maybe if you mix it in something,
right? You're going home from work on a Friday, and you're like, man, I know I'm pushing time here, but I gotta stop and get my weekly wicked pickle. Tip on for the weekend. Like, I can't imagine that happening with anybody, but it's definitely like a bottle that now, I have it. I'm gonna take it to the guys on the show this week. Like now,
make them give it a shot. Yeah,
absolutely. Like make everybody take a shot of it. So
say, look, I had to suffer through this, and then you guys give it a shot on your show, and see maybe somebody really likes it.
Dude, it really, honestly, out of our show, there's three of us. Out of our show, it'd definitely be Josh that would like this, if he liked it. But he's definitely the guy that he likes to mix everything. So if he comes over, like when the studio was at my house, we actually recently moved, but when the studio was at my house and I didn't have anything to mix alcohol with, he'd find like my toddler's apple juice and just start making. Dude, he'd mix it with anything in the fridge.
Yeah, what's here? Just searching through what's here. Oh, there's a half a bottle of apple juice left. Screw it. Well, let me use it. Yeah,
and like it doesn't matter. He has to make something. So it's just one of those things. But
I mean,
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, they're really. I mean, they're saying here. I mean, now this is. I mean, you got to be really asking for some hurting if you're doing this wicked wing, which is 1 ounce of the wicked pickle and 0.5 ounces of buffalo sauce.
Oh my god!
And a shot.
That's
garnished. Yeah, garnished with a buffalo chicken wing. Okay. I mean, you have like your regular drinks, like a pickled soda. 2 ounces of wicked pickle and soda water.
I mean, I feel like that's like like the chicken wing thing. I could see that like. As not, let me ask you this: do you like Bloody Marys?
I've never been a Bloody Mary fan. I'm not a tomato fan. I'm not a tomato juice fan.
Or I guess more so is it like alcohol mixed with something savory? Like a savory, like pickle is like a salty, savory type thing. So I don't know. I just can't think of stuff that I drink that has that kind of food thing, like food element. You know what I mean? Like,
I've had a lot of people recently that have been saying that you kind of like are you a Bloody Mary fan yourself?
No. Well, no, my wife is though. Like she'll drink it if we go out. If we're at a restaurant in the afternoon or kind of lunch or stuff like that, she does like that, but she doesn't like them spicy.
Okay, that's what I've had a lot of people saying to try like spicy Bloody Marys with some like the spicy alcohols in there.
I could totally see this in the Bloody Mary thing, though. Like, I don't know what alcohol is normally in a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, because let's see what they say. Because I haven't listed it. It's okay. Well, this is a Wicked Mary, a 2 ounce of the Wicked Pickle and 5 ounces of the Bloody Mary mix, garnished with a pickled tomato, jalapeno, celery stick, and lime wedge.
I could totally see that. And now that you say jalapeno, I think that's the smell that I'm getting.
Could be. It could be. They're probably throwing that in there. Yeah, because like I said, if you check out their site, they have a pickle and ginger, which I'm assuming is just a wicked pickle and ginger ale, garnished with a pickle slice. I don't know if you need another pickle slice in with. That
cannot be good with ginger ale.
Yeah, like I'll mix a lot of things with ginger ale, and over the past couple podcasts I've done, we've been kind of over the holidays. I was drinking a lot of Fireball.
Okay.
And mixing that with ginger ale, and that's a pretty good combination there.
Yeah.
As I was saying on my previous podcast, that Fireball gets kind of a bad rap from people,
it really does,
of being, because that's essentially like a bottom shelf alcohol whiskey. That
honestly, I think that Fireball gets such a bad rap because of the push from, if you go to a liquor store, like you can't go to a counter without seeing like Fireball stuff all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that, you know what I mean? Like even like the tiny ones in the fridges up on, on the counters and stuff like that. It's like everywhere, but it is what it is. It's cinnamon whiskey, I mean, you take it for what it is. Have you ever had it in a hot chocolate?
I have not. No.
Okay.
No.
So this, dude, that's something you got to try. Putting some, taking a hot chocolate, put a little bit of Fireball in it. So the first time I had that was at Epcot at Disney. They had it as like a special thing for like their food and wine festival, and that's delicious.
Oh, I gotta try. I never thought of that. Mixing that in. That's something I'm like, chocolate and cinnamon.
Dude, it is so good.
Yeah,
I'm not lying.
I'll try. Man, it's easy enough to make hot chocolate. I got the Fireball, so
there you go.
These, before winter comes to an end, I gotta mix it up and make it happen and see. I'm taking notes over here to say, okay, what do we got here? Okay, so I got to try this, Wicked Pickle. Okay, the Fireball and hot chocolate. See, this is what I like when people come on the show and we start throwing these ideas out there of these concoctions. Then I'm like, I'm all in on.
Yeah, the Wicked Pickle is like, honestly, it's not. I think it's like the ice is melting a little bit, and I wouldn't say it's growing on me, but it's easier to drink. I'm still sipping on it. So, but yeah, the hot chocolate with Fireball is fire, dude. It is so good. I mean, there's a place for it. Like, you can't drink a ton of it.
You're gonna have one of them, and exactly. That's it. I'm not saying, I'm drinking all day. I'll just line up the Fireball and hot chocolate all day. After one, it's like, right. It's time to let's move on to something else now.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty good though. But
it's not gonna end well.
What's like your go-to drink?
I'm just a regular beer person 90% of the time. Every once, and then it's usually like a PBR, High Life, Hamm's, Yingling, something like anything like that. Anything basic,
just like a lager, like an easy lager.
Yeah.
What's Hamm's?
It's a cheap beer, similar to like a PBR. Cheap in prices. Like around here, it's like $15-$16 for a 30-pack.
Oh wow!
So it's but it's good. It's good beer. A lot of people will look at it and think because of the price that is like some garbage beer, but it's actually pretty good for the price and even better than what you would expect it to be. So you'll see people that are like, oh, this is like a great budget beer. It's cheap, but it doesn't have that cheap taste to it. Like, if you're drinking like a Keystone or something like that.
Yeah. Natty Light.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have their place. They have their place. I mean, what's your go-to beverages?
Well, so I really, now, it used to be Yingling, man. I used to drink a ton of Yingling. But now it's just whiskey, man, or bourbon specifically. So I'll have, bourbon at night, and I do have a lot of different bottles now, but I usually just have, a glass or two of bourbon and I'm good. I don't get as full, and I just really, with beer. But if I go out, like social drinking and stuff like that, then yeah, I mean, I'm looking for like a Yingling or, like, I don't know. That's really my go-to for like if I'm going to drink throughout the day. Even Mich Ultra, because that seems to always be around down here, dude.
I think that's around everywhere. That's like, I don't know where it ranks on like the top selling beers. It's definitely got to be at the top of the list these days.
Yeah. I mean, even like you go to a party at a friend's house or something like that, there's Mich Ultra there.
Yeah.
There's always. And now like everybody's drinking seltzers too. So, which I don't know. I don't mind them, but I'm not going to grab it over a beer.
No. I'm not a seltzer fan either. I mean, certainly not a White Claw or something like that. On my last podcast I did with the Carlin P from the Grocery Gamblers, we picked up. They brought over some yerba mate yerbas. It was a hard seltzer, and which was actually really good. They didn't have that because I don't know. To me, the White Claws have like a funky aftertaste.
To
them. Tastes like a diet.
And
tea.
honestly, they give me a headache for some reason. And like those specifically, some of the seltzers, but I've had the Topo Chico ones, and those are pretty good though.
Yeah, I think some of
they're all like the same but different.
Exactly, like it's like the mainstream, mass-produced ones,
right? Exactly.
that have
they're probably made at the same place.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like just okay. This one goes into this can, that goes into that can with that label, but it's like it's all the same stuff.
Do you guys have you ever had Cigar City beer?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Something that makes it up there where you're at.
Which one?
So like High Lie is one of their biggest. High Lie, they have this Frostbite one or Frostproof that's super good, like a Blue Moon type beer. But
High
Lie is like
the IPA.
Yeah.
I've had that because I have a friend who's a big craft beer or IPA drinker, and I'm not. I mean, every once in a while I'll have one, but most IPAs are too hoppy for me. And it used to be not as much anymore, but it used to be I'd go over there and he'd be like, "Hey, look, I got this new IPA. Give it a try. Take a sip." Be like, "Really?"
Yeah.
This is what we're drinking now. But every once in a while he'll bring out something good. I had the he made me drink a few months back the Heady Topper.
What is that one?
That is I know it's like what was it? It's a IPA out of Vermont, and which is really good. It's
so with Cigar City, that's a Tampa. It's like right down the road from us.
Okay.
And they have a Florida Man beer. It's a double IPA, and so we actually partnered with them. And
see, hey, if it's Florida Man and the Florida Men,
exactly,
that's perfect. If you see like they have a Florida Man beer, like oh my god,
yeah. So it was like one of those things that kind of naturally people were always like sending us pictures of it and stuff like that, and so ended up going over there and touring the brewery over there with them, and did some shows together, and we partnered with them for a while. So yeah, it was super cool, and it's good stuff, man. High Lie is like probably one of the bigger craft beers, like the most successful craft beers. It started getting kind of everywhere, but yeah, it's good stuff. But I definitely like. I think that the IPA craze has gone down a bit in like the past couple of years, because like 6 years ago, like the IPA stuff was like crazy.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
And then people, I feel like a lot of people were like faking that they liked really.
It was the cool thing, the quote unquote cool thing. It was the hipster thing to do. Was like, oh yeah, I like this IPA, I like that IPA, and
the hoppier the better.
Yeah, and it's like, well, do you really like it, or are you just saying that because you think that's what people want to hear?
Now all those people are drinking the seltzers, so it doesn't really matter.
I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know if it was when the hard seltzers became the craze, then that's kind of when the IPA started to take a hit. You didn't hear about them as much. I mean, you'll still see a ton of them out there. I mean, right. I think there's still more that come out every single day. I stopped at the store today, and it's just there's so many local craft breweries, not even just local, but from all over the country now, that are now getting more of a mainstream distribution with it, and they kind of show up in. After a while, it's hard to keep track of. You don't know which is good, which is bad, and because the price is usually higher for them, it's like, do I want to spend money on something that I might not like.
Right, or I can get 30 hams for $15.
Exactly.
50 cents each, man.
Right. It's one thing. Right. It's one thing if you're lucky enough to go in and they're having like a tasting or something. Right. That's the perfect time to go in and they say, oh, hey, try this beer. And then you can actually try it and be like, okay, cool. I like this one. I like that one. Don't like that one. All right. I'll pick up a pack of these two, probably like $16 for like a 4-pack or something. And that's the, price for that. But if it's something you like, then go for it. But it's the worst feeling if you spend that money and then you bring it home, you try it, and you're like, well, this is just eating a tree and dirt.
Yeah, I've seen craft beers go for $10 like just for a bottle of beer, and I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah. I had some friends that were paying that price for, and I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
I say that, but then like bourbon's really expensive too. So I mean, it feels different, dude. Like you can have 15 drinks out of that.
I was gonna say you get more out of the bottle.
Not just 15 drinks, but like
it could be a $50 bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. But anyways, yeah, I really did cut back on drinking beer recently, and just I don't even keep any at my house. Like I'll drink it out, but I just drink whiskey at the house. So
like what you said, it's the fullness you get from it that a lot of people don't like anymore, or as they get older, they're like they just can't drink as much of it because you feel full. I mean, it's the bubbles. I mean, you get full. I mean, as much as you want to drink more, it's just something's just like, all right, no, I'm full. But it's like, no, but I'm not drunk yet. I want to drink more.
Yeah,
and then next thing you know, you're just burping like crazy.
Exactly, dude. And like I'll notice though, I never get like hangovers like ever, but I mean, it's not like I'm smashing alcohol all the time, but I can drink a lot of whiskey and not be hungover. But as soon as I add like sugar to the mix, I'm done, dude. Like it's just like it's so different, and it's just, I don't know what it is, but
so there's no Four Lokos on your menu over there these days.
Dude, no, but is that still like I know they had to roll Four Lokos back. They had to nerf them a little bit, but
yeah. Well, yeah, back in the day when they had to take out the caffeine from them.
Yeah, everybody was going. I do remember that craze. I don't even think I was old enough to drink yet when Four Lokos came out. Like, and it was all over the news that people were like, weren't people like dying?
Yeah, it was happening. Okay. I think people were having heart attacks or something because from the alcohol, the caffeine, like the sugar rush, like all of it together was the perfect storm. And then people were just, dying from drinking like 5 of them in a sitting. And it was like, these are not meant to be consumed this way.
God, dude. Yeah, I think if I'm remembering right, I think I was still like a little young. But I don't know.
Because it was like between, it was probably like 12 years ago, something like, it was like it was like 2010 ish was when they laid the hammer down and the government said, okay, you can't sell these anymore. You can't sell any more alcohol that has caffeine in it because people are going to abuse it and then die.
Yeah, so 2010, I would have been like 20, I guess. So it was right around that time.
Yeah, but they're still out there. They're still strong. Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, I'll pick one up. I mean, they have their latest one. Loko. No, it's not. It's not the same anymore.
Let's Loko.
Yeah, it's like a 3 Loko now. It's not 4. Like that, they just came out around Christmas time with the 4 Loko USA, which was their red, white, and blue. It's like supposed to be a sour. It's like a sour cherry flavor.
Okay, so now you're talking Josh's dude. Like that is exactly the kind of stuff he drinks. 100%. Like as soon as you say like sour or sweet or anything, like that's all him.
Like see, that's something else. Put that on the list too to share. Crack open the 4 Loko USA.
It's good though.
I wasn't a fan of it.
Okay.
Maybe if he's a fan of sour, it might be that. But I was expecting, like they were doing this big promotion, 4 Loko USA. Now, I thought they would have saved it for like 4th of July. Like, it kind of didn't fit with like, it's like December is Christmas. They're like, oh yeah, 4 Loko USA's out, there's fireworks, people going crazy.
It's also too early for the Winter Olympics too. Like that would have been my guess.
Yeah, if they did it like a week or two ago, like to push like Team USA, USA all the way, then I could see that. But it was like a week before Christmas. They're doing this 4 Loko USA push. So I went out searching for it. I've picked up a couple cans. I still have one in the fridge, and I was expecting like at least what I wanted from it was like a bomb pop flavor.
Oh
that mixture of a cherry, blue raspberry, lemonade, kind of like all in one
concentrated juice.
Yeah. And then I cracked it open, tasted it, and I'm like, okay, it's a cherry type flavor. Then I went on the website and said, okay, it's a sour cherry, and I was like, it was kind of a letdown. Now, maybe the second time around when I try it, maybe it'll be better. But I think you have to be a fan of sour type beverages, and I'm usually not. Every once in a while, they'll hit. But but tell them to give it a shot.
Margaritas, though, man. I mean, I'll drink that kind of sour like that.
Yeah, a sour like that is good.
Yeah,
but
not the sugar sour.
But. Yeah, not the 4 Loko sour.
So where'd the Bobcat part come in?
Well, the Bobcat it was a nickname that a friend of mine gave me. It was just I don't know why. For some reason, he just started calling me Bobcat. I guess. I don't know why. I'll have to ask him.
His name's Bob, so I guess it's
right.
Like a
Right. It just became Bobcat, and then the bum wine part came from my love of the bottom shelf and bum wines. So it was like, well, bum wine Bob and bone with Bobcat. It was just the perfect fusion of which. Still, I was laying in bed one night and had this vision of having a late night talk show, which was called Bumming with Bobcat. Now, I don't know, and I don't even think I was drinking at the time. That would have been a great drunk epiphany. It was just one of those things, and then it just kind of evolved, and then I took on the Bobcat name, and then as you can see, then the Bobcat logo, and I mean, I'm not fighting any bobcats in my yard, but
that's a good segue. I'd love to tell that story.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a true Florida man story. This is the craziest thing ever, dude. Josh, co-host on our show, texted me one night. I was actually in Kentucky at this point. He texts me and Wayne, the other co-host, in a group text and say, "Hey guys, I just got attacked by a bobcat." And I'm like, "There's no way. Like, do you mean like a large house cat?" You know what I mean? Like,
right. Is it is it a cat?
Right.
Just maybe. Like I said, a large house cat. Like maybe it has some stripes on it.
You're trying to make yourself feel better. Yeah, you're trying to make yourself feel better, and trying to say it's like there's a wild animal. You know what I mean? But anyways, so he texts us, "Hey, pretty sure I got attacked by a bobcat," and we're like, "I don't know, dude. What do you mean?" And he said, "I was in my backyard taking my dog out, and he heard something, hissing at him." Laying, and he sees this cat laying in the grass a little bit away from him, and he's trying to make sure that his dog doesn't go running at it and whatever. But ends up this bobcat attacks him, dude. Like legitimately, he's got scars on his hand. Like the bobcat chomps onto his the little pad on your thumb. Like the kind of not the heel, I guess. I don't know what that's called right there, but like the back of your thumb, and basically just clamped on and kind of almost got down to the bone on his thumb. And then his arm was just like tore up, man.
Wow.
He like straight up got mauled by this bobcat in his backyard in like a super residential area. Now, I mean, there's definitely bobcats in Florida. I mean, it's definitely like, it's a thing, but it's not a normal thing for, to see anything like that in a residential area. And especially not to have like bobcats and cats in general are super skittish. And so, they would normally run away. So the fact that this thing, like, it came after him and legit, like, it messed him up, man. And he had, he probably should have got stitches. I don't remember. I don't think he did. Like at least
he's a man. He just let it heal.
I think he glued it back together basically. But yeah, dude, he contacted, or he started looking it up, because I'm like, bro, that doesn't make sense for that type of animal to come chasing after you. You know what I mean? Like to run up at you. Like you didn't like happen upon it. It like crossed the yard to get to him. I'm like, that's not normal. You should probably look into rabies. And so he finds out that, he's doing this research, and you have to call like the Florida Health Department and tell them, like, basically schedule to get rabies shots. But
right.
With the Florida Health, you can't, like, as far as he knew, you couldn't just show up and get checked out for rabies. Well, he has to leave a voicemail. They never call him back for like a week. And then a week later, they call him back, and they're like, hey, dude, you got this taken care of, right? And he's like, what do you mean? You guys never called me. They're like, you didn't go to the hospital? Like, you didn't go to get checked out and get rabies shots? He's like, I did what it said online and called you guys. And they're like, you need to stop what you're doing and go to the hospital. And so he had to get this series of like 10 shots, dude. And so they were saying, because it was like a week late, they're like, well, we don't fully know if it'll work. You're supposed to get him right afterwards. And I mean, he's with us, so he's
still hanging in there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, his arm's not doing too well. No, it's fine, but dude, it legit has some scars on it, and it's just the weirdest thing. It honestly, like, he had to shake off this bobcat, and then I guess it was out there laying in the grass again later on. So I'm like 99% sure it had, something, rabies or something, or maybe it had like a baby out there that nobody saw, but they came out and tried to trap it, and they never found it.
It's just still running loose out there somewhere.
Yeah. It could have been a house cat. We were
a
squirrel, maybe. I don't know. Squirrels are, run rampant around Florida, so it could have been that too.
I was gonna say, because I heard about the story of
right.
Josh and the bobcat, and then I had to go back and I was like, wait, this wasn't the same guy, because I'm sure, did you see the video of that guy in North Carolina last year?
Yeah.
With a bobcat. I had to just bring it up now to refresh my memory of, because I was picturing him, picking up the bobcat and tossing it like that guy did.
Pretty much. I mean, that one was the one where, like, it's like in his driveway.
Yeah. They're just leaving in the morning, going into the car, and then just out of nowhere, the cat just attacks the guy's wife, and then the guy comes up and this friggin' guy runs up behind the cat, grabs it, picks it up like over his head, and then tosses it.
Yeah, I mean, he like straight up throws it like halfway through the yard, right?
Yeah. He just tossed that thing across the yard, and that thing just ran away.
Dude, it's wild. Like, it still comes up like all the time, the whole bobcat thing, and it's just so weird where it happened. Like, his area does not have any kind of like woods around it, or anywhere that you would think, oh, a bobcat probably
just found its way.
There. Yeah, so super weird, but
yeah, it's just chilling in his backyard. Like, hey, what are you guys eating? You got
Dude,
what are we cooking?
He sent us like a picture of him. Dude, his arm is so jacked up, but he like holding it under the faucet in the tub. I'm like, I don't think that's the best way to handle this. Like,
I don't think that's how it works. You shouldn't do it that way.
But
hey, whatever he did, even having to wait a week before he could get his shots, he turned out okay. So
he turned out okay for now, at least. I mean, apparently, if you get rabies, it sticks with you for a long time. So I don't think you ever get rid of it. But
yeah, it's
we'll find out If he starts foaming at the mouth one day, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Make sure everybody just kind of keep your distance from him.
Yeah. We definitely try to.
But who knows? Maybe give him a few of those pickle shots, and maybe that could clear everything out.
Well, I mean, he'd definitely be foaming at the mouth after that.
Yeah. Then wash it down with the 4 Loko.
Yeah, but that is definitely like one of, okay, so on our show, we all kind of have our own segments. So I'll do like the Florida Man headlines and like the crazy stuff that's going around. And I usually do, 5 headlines or so and just what's happening in Florida right now. And then Wayne does the last segment, which is like Florida history, legends, lore, all that kind of stuff. But then, and those are all like, true stories in Florida and just like historical stuff or cool people that grew up here. And then Josh is in the middle with his segment, which is always different, but it's always like experiences in Florida from our lives or his life or stuff that's going on now. And so like, it's just a testament to like, him being a Florida man, and we're all Florida men, like, I don't know, if we all have that Florida man capability in us to like show up at a Winn-Dixie with a machete.
It could happen.
It could definitely happen. It has to be unleashed. I mean, depends on how many of those 4 if you get the old school 4 Lokos, like,
oh yeah, if you could find sure. If you could find some of those and crack those open now, especially now if they've been sitting for like 15 years,
you could definitely find them on eBay. I feel like
I'm sure there's probably a black market for them somewhere. If you get out on like the dark web or something, I bet you could.
The 4 Loko web.
Yeah, you can find them out there.
Dude, yeah, but Josh has like some of the like, I don't know how he gets into what he gets into. Honestly, like you just have those people in your life that you're like, man, my life is just feels so boring sometimes. I mean, not to say that I want to get attacked by a Bobcat. It's just like the crazy stuff that Josh seems to find himself in.
Yeah, it's just that excitement.
Yeah. Especially, honestly, it's more exciting to watch it happen to somebody else.
Yeah, it's better to hear the story and kind of live vicariously through them as they tell it and say, "Oh yeah, that's cool. I wish that could happen to me." Then you're like, deep down, you're like, "No, I don't want that. No, I'm perfectly fine. I'm fine without that happening to me. It's okay."
And I feel like even where you're at, New Jersey, I mean, they don't call it. I don't know if they call it. We kind of somehow got this Florida man thing kind of pinned, and kind of got a lot of like spotlight for it as far as, hey man, everything that crazy, everything crazy.
Yeah, it's just Florida man. Florida man does this. Florida man did that.
And so, but I know that New Jersey has that. I mean, come on. But I know one of the things the reason that Florida, I mean, there's a few different reasons that Florida got really well known for it. But one is like, we have this thing called the Sunshine State Law. And so all police records are public record. So any kind of arrest is instantly public record. And so we get all this news like super fast. And I think that there are a lot of states that are like that now. But Florida was like kind of known for that. And so, that and just the fact that, I mean, we have so many people down here and a lot of drugs coming through. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's always like Florida man gets caught doing this. Florida man fights an alligator. Florida man.
Oh, that's true. Like the wildlife is like a big part of it.
Florida man throws an alligator through a drive-through window. You're like, what the hell,
dude? That's through a Wendy's, bro. Like, that's legitimately happening.
Because it's something that it pops up and you're like this is not true. This did not happen. A guy did not throw an alligator through a drive-through window. And they're like, nope, yeah, he really did. Okay, thanks, Florida.
and I've got friends that have like moved down here from up north and stuff like that, and they're like, this one friend in particular, they have a pool house, and they're like, it's not true, right? I mean, we've seen on the news like alligators will just show up in people's pool,
right?
That's not true, right? I'm like, dude, that's 1,000% true. Like it happens every day somewhere. I mean, there's always like, if you live close to water in Florida, I mean, there's alligators in every single body of water in Florida. And so if you're close enough and they, find a pool or something like that, and you'll wake up one morning, there'll be a pool or a gator in your pool or like at your front door.
Make
like,
sure you check. Yeah, make sure before you go in there, check that pool. Make sure there's no gators floating around, and if it's not an inflatable one.
Honestly, it's not even news anymore. I mean, it's just like a normal everyday thing, and so and people, make livings off of that. Just getting called to go
get
out.
Get this gator out, yeah. Get the gator wrangler to get the gator out of the pool.
Did you hear about the story that this happened out of in Chicago, where there's like this big, like, I don't know what they call it, a lagoon, which I feel like is a weird term to think of in Chicago.
Yeah, so you don't think it's all the lagoons in Chicago. I mean,
right? I don't even know. Like, I wouldn't classify a lagoon.
Do they mean a pond? I guess.
Yeah, probably a small lake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they somehow in Chicago they had this like lagoon. It feels so weird saying that. That had an alligator in it, and so they're guessing, somebody had it as a pet, ended up releasing it because obviously it gets big, and and so they released it, and they tried for like over a week. Like officials up there they called a lot of people in to try to get it out, couldn't get it, and then finally they're like, all right, let's just get somebody from Florida. We'll call in an expert. The dude had it in like a day. Like within the day, he had the alligator. So we know what we're doing down here.
Exactly. You got to call in the professionals that deal with this stuff on a daily basis. I mean, you got people in Chicago who, okay, maybe somebody works at a zoo or something. Right. They're like, well, yeah, we have alligators and we kind of shuffle them over this way, but this guy here, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like a piece of rope and
right. He's just got like a stick or something. He's trying to like poke him, like go, hey, go that way.
It's wild. Like, and now, I mean, dude, alligators are not even like the biggest predator now. So yeah, I mean, we talk about this on the show quite a bit, but we have the Burmese Pythons. That same thing. People, had them in. They were in the pet trade. People would keep them as pets. They start getting too big and they release them. And now it's a huge invasive species in Florida, especially the Everglades and down south. Like, it's a massive issue. And like they have contests to try to get them out and all that kind of stuff. But they'll straight up eat an entire gator.
Man, like they got some battles going on down there.
It's lawless down here, man. Like it's wild. Have you ever been down to Florida?
I have not yet. One of these days I'll make my way down there, even if it is just for like Disney or something like that. I know it's on the eventual trip list of one day.
Even at Disney, like, I mean, people see alligators in the the lakes over there by Disney all the time too.
Yeah, it's like a different world down there. With you got these wild animals, crazy people doing crazy things. But hey, it makes it interesting for you guys to talk about on the podcast. So it works out for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a good time, dude. Like, honestly, I don't ever have a shortage of stuff to talk about. No. Doing the headline part of it, it's literally, it's like, okay, well, another guy with a machete, decided to go into a bank this week, and once he robbed the place, he went to a church and started throwing all the money out in the parking lot. Like, it just keeps on coming. So
yeah, I was gonna say, it was like before when I said Florida has been keeping it quiet recently. Well, yes, on a national level, I haven't seen anything saying, "Oh yeah, Florida man does this," but like you said, there's still no shortage of things that are going on down there that are in the local news. That if you pull up the police reports, you'll see something crazy like that. Local Florida man with machete. You're like, wait, what? He did this, and Florida man does that, and you're like, didn't this happen already once before? You look back, you're like, oh, yep, that's the same thing. Is it the same guy? I mean, well, maybe not, but he had the great idea from the first one. Josh
and Wayne like to categorize my headlines sometimes into like a few different categories. Okay, you have like your weapons. Florida man's favorite weapon is either a machete or food, because we have so many stories of people, slapping people with pizza or throwing hot ramen at somebody. That's on, I think, tomorrow's episode. Comes out tomorrow, but somebody like throwing hot ramen at somebody. It's always like a girlfriend or somebody. Like the craziest craziest stories about, it's always food or machetes. And then you move over to the other section of, you have your animals, you have your wildlife, you have pythons that are, we're putting GPS trackers into male pythons down here so that they get released, and then they go find all the female and have some fun with some female pythons, and then the hunters go up and scoop up the females, and so that we have that kind of stuff, and then you move over to drugs.
It's a wide variety of topics that can be covered. So you guys definitely picked the right podcast idea to do.
Dude, I had one. This is kind of made me think of it. We have one coming out tomorrow. I say tomorrow. I'm not sure when this is going to be aired, but episode 167 is what this is going to be on. We had a grandfather and his grandson that they're doing some bonding, and decided to go magnet fishing. And the grandson, within a few minutes, they've never done this before. They got this. They decided to do it together. Within a few minutes, the grandson pulls up a sniper rifle, a 50 caliber sniper rifle, without a barrel and without it had the serial number scratched off. And then 2 minutes later, pulls up a second one.
Oh, nice.
50 caliber sniper rifle. That's insane. I can't even. I don't know. That's wild to me. You just have zero idea what you're going to pull up at. But this also happened outside of Miami, so I guess it's not super.
Right. I was going to say, you never know what's going to pull up out there, but then you're like, oh, well, it's outside of Miami. Okay, all right. I guess it kind of makes sense now. I can see that.
Super suspicious. Where you're police are showing up. They're like, where did you find that? You found this in a few minutes. You've never done this before, and then 2 minutes later, you decide you didn't call us first. You kept fishing, magnet fishing, and then you pull up another one.
Yeah, well, you wanted to see what happens. How lucky are you today?
Just got to keep going, but
yeah.
We have a good time with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can tell. I mean, you guys do a great job on the podcast with everything. I mean, what's next for you? Anything crazy or interesting in the works for you guys? Anything you can give a peek behind the curtain about?
Yeah, I mean, we've been so last year, this honestly, the whole podcast thing for us started as a way to just hang out together, because Wayne and I have always done music together, and Josh was always a part of that. Wayne and I used to tour in a band, and Josh would tour with us and help us out, managing us and stuff like that. And we were always together until we kind of fell out of that, the music stuff. We settled down and things like that. And so we just came up with this as a way to hang out with each other. There's a reason to get together every week and laugh together and stuff like that. So we've been doing this for 3 years, but then last year we decided, hey, let's take it out and go meet these people that we're talking about. So we started doing this kind of series called The Social. And so we started off with Cliff Brown, a Grammy Award winner, out of the Tampa area, and started going to chemists, and we've had entrepreneurs, and we've had, I don't even know, man. We've had quite a few of them at this point. And so we're just going out and meeting people. We have one at this super nice restaurant, local restaurant. So we're interviewing a chef, and he's gonna cook for us while he's kind of explaining his whole process and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just been fun to kind of get out of the studio and go meet people. And then recently we just started airing our episodes in Spanish. We had a lot of people, South Florida and Florida in general, there's a lot of Spanish speaking people. And so we have, people that listen, and they said, yeah, my family member would love this, but they only speak Spanish. It's not like they were asking us to put Spanish episodes out, but it's why not? We have people that like to do it. So basically, Alina Francine, she translates Wayne's portion of the episode.
I was gonna say, I saw that when I was going through the website. I didn't realize you had that until just before I was going through, and I was like, wait, it was like in English or in Spanish. I'm like, well, wait, how does this happen?
Right.
I'm like, you guys aren't doing like a re-recording of you just talking in Spanish over it.
Yeah, there's like no way to recreate what we're doing. Like, you know, we're hanging out with each other. We're having this not natural cover. There's really no way to recreate that. So we decided really just to take, you know, and it honestly, it might expand and we might do more with those episodes. But now
try it out.
Yeah, we're taking the historical portion of our show and like the people and the legends and lore and stuff like that, all the historical stuff, and translating that. And Alina has been awesome, and she's been hosting that on her own. And so we've got a couple of things that we're working on that we haven't announced yet, but it's we just keep going with it, man. We just have fun, like seeing how far we can go with stuff, and just I don't know. It's just a reason to do something, to hang out, and we just like to see how you know, how crazy things can get sometimes.
No, that's the name of the game. As long as you're having fun with it, and if it takes on a mind of its own and gets the huge following and the ball starts rolling, then that's even better. Yeah, it's like you're just having fun with it. Like you said, it's just friends hanging out, BSing pretty much, and you make it interesting. You throw in some stories, and you got Spanish translations now. I mean, it's the sky's the limit.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, you know, we couldn't do it we do have a lot of people that help us, and we have people that will research and write stories and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's been super helpful. So we just, you know, it's a big family, and we just do it every week and kind of see how far we'll go. And just, you know, there's no end in sight for us.
Yeah, see where the road takes you, and if it's more beer collaborations.
Exactly, dude.
I mean,
I remember
more pickle juice.
Oh man, I don't know if I couldn't finish my pickle juice, dude. I had to stop. I didn't bring it up, but I had to stop.
It was. I guess it was one of the things. It was a good idea at the time. You saw it, and you're like, oh man, I'm doing this podcast.
My belly's starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, though. I'm gonna crack this open and give it a try, because you think, hey, maybe I'll hit the lottery and this will be great. Then you take a few sips and you're like, no,
not today.
No. Maybe got to mix it with something else. I think that will be the trick.
I think the Bloody Mary really is the way to
do the Bloody Mary, or I mean, if you want to do the buffalo sauce shot, I mean that's
it's gonna hurt later, dude.
That on the way out the next day.
That's gonna be painful. I think this bottle's gonna live at the studio now, though. I'm just gonna take it.
Bring it over there. Have the guys, rest of the guys, try it out, and who knows, maybe you they can put their mixologist hats on.
There you go.
And give it a shot and see what they can come up with. So definitely be keeping tabs on that. You want to give some tell everybody where they can find you guys in the podcast.
Yeah, dude. So we have we have a website, FMOFM.com. It's FMOFM.com. So just abbreviation. And then you can find us on Instagram. We do a lot on Instagram, FMOFM podcast. We're on TikTok and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I don't ever remember all of the handles. So find us on that website, FMOFM.com.
you get there, then you can find the various
links everything
you're looking for. That's all it's like.
But really, I mean, the big thing is, looking us up on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Florida Man on Florida Man. And you'll definitely find us. So I appreciate you having me on, though.
No, awesome. No, Cameron, I appreciate it. It was great chatting with you. I mean, maybe we'll have to do it again, and maybe next time you can bring along a different drink that I'm gonna bring a different drink, and then I need to bring Josh on here so he can talk Bobcats with you. Yeah, yes, that's what we need. We need the Bobcat follow-up episode. But hey, Cameron, it was great chatting with you. Nice to I guess formally meet you. Virtually meet you through podcast form, having some drinks. But yes, he's Cameron from the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. Yeah, we made it super easy to remember. Yeah, Florida Men, Florida podcast. I don't know. You'll find them out there. It's like if you search that, it's like the first thing that pops up is like the Apple podcast feed. So So you have it right there.
Yeah, dude. And if you ever make it down here, give us a holler. We'll hang out.
Definitely, yes.
We get us some scary spots.
I was gonna see. We'll see if we can find some. See if we can find some gators.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or some bobcats too. Yeah, that too. We'll see what we can find.
Sounds good, man.
All right. He's Cameron from the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. I am Bumwine Bob, and until next time, cheers.
I need a beer.